Hi everyone. On today's podcast, we're going to be looking at starting back at the gym and what PT looks like going forward. And finally,
We've got our big competition reveal. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks and we're going to give you all the details in today's episode. Tune into the podcast to see what it is.
hi everyone. Welcome back to this is actually the official first episode of our Jones the Trainer podcast. So we're just going to be chatting a lot of nonsense for you today, really, but discussing a few fitness topics and a little bit about training and what we've been up to over the last few weeks of lockdown. So not only am I joined by Mark, but I have the legendary running shoes that are now a part of his life. Building up on that cardio again, you must be feeling like you're 18.
We thought we'd just put it out there just in case people were finding it hard to believe. But yeah. 18,
It's true.
Back to my 20s, I think. I can't even remember the last time I took running this seriously.
Yeah. London Marathon, how old were you when you did that?
21.
21.
Yeah.
And hit the wall.
It hit the wall, yeah. I hit the wall around mile 17 on the London Marathon.
Yeah.
I remember everyone saying, oh yeah, you'll hit the wall between 17 and 21, and I hit it at the earliest possible stage,
Yeah.
which was fun.
I have no intention of running that far in my life that I'm going to hit that wall.
Well, I'm glad you brought that out though, because I have James's yoga mat here.
Wow.
I heard the rumours, and apparently it is true. There's even photographic evidence.
True.
You've changed. Some would say.
Yoga. I'm getting old. I've got ailments. I've got sore knees and sore calves, and yoga's helping me on my journey, along with my vegan food.
Vegan food. It's too far. It's too far.
Too far.
I'm going to stick with the sore back and sore joints.
So we're going to look a little bit about some of the videos that you put up on the socials and starting back at the gym and the training to train videos that you have put out for everyone, which is going into where we're at the moment, where we're hopeful that maybe gyms are 3 weeks away from opening if we're following on trend. Yeah. London, down south, due to open on the 25th, so hopefully we're a couple of weeks after that. And this is a really important sort of phase to go into, isn't it? Before you get back into any serious lifting, you need to get the body ready for that, right?
Yeah, you need to get the body ready. So you might have seen that I've been putting up quite a lot of information on training to train, getting back into training. Obviously up here we're getting to see, or we're going to get to see what's going to happen with the gyms opening down south. But up here we need to start gearing up, getting ready to get back into some kind of physical exercise, or if you're training for sport, and how you're going to prepare to do that. So it's important that you don't think that you're going back to the gym is the same person or the same physical condition as when you left. If you go back in and try and go for your sort of peak deadlifts or back squats, you're
not hitting any PBs in your first few weeks again. Definitely if you've had the break from the gym.
You need to think about going back in. You need to think about practicing movements. Always my mantra: movement before muscle. And you need to think about getting your nervous system back in the way of being able to do these movements, to cope with these lifts, firing up the right muscles in the right order with the right intensity.
Yeah, because the big thing is as well that although we've had a period of time of around 15 weeks, people they haven't lost muscle mass necessarily. It takes you're 12 weeks anyway and beyond before you really start to notice a difference in that. So when they're back in the gym, it's not that the muscles disappeared, it's just that the body's went into an almost shutdown because it's not been doing the same movement.
Absolutely, and if you've not been doing those movements, how confident are you that you could go straight back into the gym and hit your the same depth on a squat, for example, without back seizing up or ankle flexibility being an issue. You need to go back and practice all of these before you get going again.
Yeah. So, for example, when you're taking in a client for a PT session and it's the first session back after lockdown, how long is that phase going to last for a training to train phase, and what's the session going to look like? What will be involved in that?
Well, any new clients that are getting back into train, any new clients, any beginners, anyone that's going back to training after a long layoff, my training to train phase, I will put people through about 2 to 8 weeks of training to train, depending on their previous training, their experience and ability, depending on what goals they've got set. And during that sort of 2 to 8 weeks, we're looking at movement screens, We're looking at how well people can push, pull, press, lift, how well they are moving in more unconventional directions of movement, what their recovery's like, how much they understand what they're trying to achieve in that lift, what muscles they're using, etc.
Yeah. And I think the big thing is you're still going to be doing a lot of the same movements as you were before. You'll still be doing compound lifts, you'll still be doing different stages of your deadlift with clients and stuff.
Yep.
But there's just a different focus on that as well.
Different focus. You maybe break down the bigger compound lifts into derivatives of those movements, so that you're not necessarily going straight into a compound lift without first practicing. Maybe if you're talking for a clean, for example, you'd maybe look at the first and second pull. You'd break it down into a high pull, work on the catch before you'd even think about combining those movements together again.
And then a big thing, like you said at the start of this is a bit of prehabbing as well, and it's preventing people from going back in and getting injured. Because the last thing you want to do, we know everyone's going to be totally buzzing to get back in the gym, we all are, but you need to do it the right way and not scunner yourself to the point where you're picking up an injury and prevent yourself from training further in the future.
Absolutely. And also there's going to be different things to take into consideration at the moment when the gym's first open. You're going to need to think about the time you have available to you.
Big time.
You know more about what the guidelines are going to be like. How long you're going to get in the gym.
So social distancing is going to be a big thing in gyms as well. There's going to be 2 meter distancing between anything from your cardio equipment to your resistance equipment. There'll be less equipment in gyms, and the stuff that is there, some of it's going to be taped off, like we've seen in videos online. We don't know how long this social distancing is going to go on. This might be for a long time to come in the future. So there's going to be less equipment available. There's going to be fewer people in the gyms as well, and restricted access. So people are going to be looking at using booking platforms to go to the gym. So you'll be booking in for a 90-minute time slot potentially. So you're going to have to be there at a specific time. There's more onus on you to have more of a routine in your day, and you need to maximise that 90 minutes. There's no going in and faffing about too much. You need to have a plan in your head, which is ideal if you've got a PT with you or whatever, but ideally even an app or just a training program that you've created yourself.
And does that mean less time looking in the mirror?
Well, apparently I heard a rumour that they're banning bicep curls from in front of the mirror as well. So
maybe some things aren't so bad at the back of COVID.
So it's a big thing, and people really need to be aware that if you're working to even stricter time constraints when you're in the gym, you need to be going in there with a plan and know what you're going to do so that you're maximising that time. And
I would say at the start, the best way is to just keep it simple, go back through the basics, and then start to build up from there as we know more with what's happening with the gyms opening.
Yeah, and to follow on from that training to train phase, which is so important, it's really important that people have a goal in mind when they're going back to the gym as well. And not for everyone. Some people just want to go in and maybe out of enjoyment, maybe for mental health, and just getting in there and enjoying the experience as a release. But equally, there's going to be people out there who are looking at specific events. They're maybe doing a sport and they need to have a more specific goal.
Well, this goes back to talking about the time that you've got available as well. If you do have goals, if you've got a fitness plan laid out in front of you, then you are going to make better use of the time that you have available. It's important that you have that guide, you have some kind of structure, so that you know what the detail of your sessions should look like, to be able to hit your goals, to be able to hit those targets. Going back to, if it is a sports based training program that you're looking for, if you're a footballer, if you're a martial artist, then you need to think about what your fitness specific or athlete needs are, and maximize the use of the time that you're going to have available to be in to do your gym based conditioning.
Big time. And again, that leads us into personal training as well. And when you're in a one-to-one session, that's going to look potentially a little bit different as well. I think for sure PT's forever evolving, and it's forever changed from back when you started 20 odd years ago to where it is now. Is very different. The way it it's structured and the price that people pay. We've touched on all that, but again, we've been seeing over the last 15 weeks or so that there's more outdoor sessions happening. Boot camps are becoming a bigger thing again.
That's right. Yep.
There's one-to-one sessions outdoor, and then there's the boom of online training.
Well, I actually saw a post yesterday, I think it was, on Instagram, where a trainer had put up a post with a title that said that COVID has just fast-tracked the personal training industry by years and sort of pushed it forward. It's going to be personal trainers. It's going to look very, very different for a personal trainer, especially somebody that's just coming into the industry. Definitely to how it was when I first started. Now there's going to be a lot more people training outdoors, taking into account the social distancing and the fact that maybe you don't want to be in a smaller environment that's maybe not indoors and not ventilated as well. Obviously, it's easier to social distance. I think councils are going to have to look at the space that they're going to give personal trainers to use in the parks. They're going to have to reevaluate how people go about doing their fitness. I think it's going to be a lot, again, going back to the time that you're going to have available in gyms. It's going to be more difficult for personal trainers to maybe organise how they're going to train their clients, whether you're going to be waiting to get on equipment, whether clients are actually going to want to come to the gyms in the first place. And all of these factors, and that combined with the fact that we were in lockdown and trainers were still trying to train their clients, is they all had to pivot their business and move everything online, and it was a kind of sink or swim scenario.
And then again, the platform that we've set up for Jones the Trainer, the future of that, I mean, we were already setting up for this before COVID came along.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, it's just fast-tracked it that little bit.
Yes,
but the content that we've got on there is now ready to go. We've got our home workouts on there for people that are working out at home. The gym-based stuff's ready. We've got 12-week plans ready for people that are wanting to go back in and start a strength and conditioning program. The content's there. It's just been sped up.
Moved forward. Well, that's right. I mean, you and I were working on all of these things before lockdown even became a thing. We had all the gym-based programs ready to go. We were working on sport-specific based programs, uploading content to our website and our app, already generating interest. And it just so happened that a couple of months after we started the app and the website, COVID hit. Then most of our programs were then based on home training or running schedules, but as gyms are starting to open back up, we're already ready to go with gym-based training because we had it all in place before this happened. Yeah,
you are in the fortunate scenario that you have an S&C gym in your home.
Yes,
you've kitted it out.
Yes,
like we spoke about, looking bang tidy.
Yeah. It was looking good. I managed to get in there quickly at the start because, as most of you who were trying to train at home and buy equipment, it's just
gone.
Now,
it's such a struggle to get equipment for your home.
That's it.
Everything from Olympic bars to plate weights to kettlebells.
Yeah, I remember going in. I jumped into Decathlon to try and get some bits and pieces, and that completely sold out right at the start of lockdown. And they said that they wouldn't be getting anything back in even there because there was no manufacturing, no deliveries moving at that point. I think Amazon's done very well out of lockdown, especially with the fitness equipment.
But again, it's just shown that shift potentially. I mean, gyms are going to reopen. There's going to be a demand for them because people want to go back to the gyms, absolutely. But people are still going to, I think, continue to train from home because there's not going to be that same freedom and flexibility to, actually I've got an hour now, I can go to the gym. There might not be that freedom because you have to book in an app, you have to be there at a certain time. So, okay, I've got 45 minutes, I've got some kettlebells that I managed to buy, I'm going to go out and do it. And look, I've got an app that I can follow, there's a kettlebell workout on there, it's going to take me 45 minutes, and it's just that little change.
That's right. You can have the best of both worlds, even if you are going to the gym once a week and trying to limit your exposure and still using your home workouts at home with the equipment that you've got. But you've then got a program in front of you that is giving you the best way to do your home workout and to make the best use of your time with the equipment that you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. talking a little bit more about when people are going back into the gym, and people will be looking to get onto a plan, and I'm desperate to get back in and get on a 12-week plan and just really have something to get my teeth stuck into and a focus for my training. You've done that over the last 12 weeks. You've just finished.
I had I mean, my training was really good during lockdown. At the start, I've just gone through a 5-phase of 3 weeks training. Just progressive overload was the focus. Actually, and also because I was enjoying training in my own gym, that it was actually it was quite nice to be able to go in and make use of it, and also it sort of helped keep my sanity during the lockdown. I really enjoyed it. I was using it for a bit of content. I was putting out there what I'd been doing and how the phases worked with progressive overload, just to try and demonstrate how you could keep that going. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, you've done quite well for training during lockdown as well. You've kind of done it slightly different to me in that you've been out making the most of the great Scottish outdoors.
Yeah, my training has been very different, and like I've touched on before, I've quite enjoyed it. It's been a little change from just being in that gym routine, and I've been doing different things that I've maybe not done for a while. I've done a lot of cycling, mountain biking, and purchased a road bike now as well, so getting into that a little bit more. This endurance carry on, which I'm really not cut out for, it turns out. I've been looking at all my segments on Strava, and I thought, yeah, I'm relatively fit, and then you go out there and you see these guys twice the age of you and they're absolutely nailing it. So yeah, I've still not found my place in life. It's not cycling, but I'm enjoying it, getting out there, getting fresh air, different to that gym environment, and yeah, it's freshened it up a little bit.
Yeah, good bit of variation. I think that's also good for the mental health, and definitely a key in varying what your physical activity.
Yeah, absolutely. And then swimming's another thing. Managed to get out and do a bit of outdoor swimming, wild swimming, with a focus of potentially doing an event or two in the near future. So singled out a couple of things that look to get involved in. So yeah, it's been exciting. Very different from me to what you've went through. Where you're sort of more strength based, and
but knowing what you and I have planned going forward, and the fact that we're going to be taking part in we're planning on taking part in some more events, I thought I definitely needed to build up my baseline cardio fitness again, which is why I've been out running. But I'm enjoying it because I'm looking forward to what we've got planned, and I know it's going to be good fun.
Yeah. We've even had some inquiries coming back in through the website as well of sport specific or even event specific programs that people are requesting as well, which is exciting. Because that's your forte. That's where you kind of all started off with your.
That's it. Yeah, strength and conditioning. Previously with football players at one of the Scottish Premier League teams, and before that working with the Scottish Rugby Union. Working with athletes was really enjoyable. That was one of the sort of highlights of my career so far. And getting some sport specific requests in for using the app has been great. And we've had people looking for martial art based programs, strength and conditioning programs with football and rugby. Obviously we've had the running as well. We've made a running section on the website. I've been really enjoying that during lockdown, and that it's good to see that there's a sport specific section building up on the website.
Yeah, which is great, and we're always here to chat as well. We're always welcoming people to message us on social media or go onto the website, and we'll have a chat with you if there's any questions that people have, or they're looking for something a little bit more specific.
Absolutely.
Delve into your experience and what you've done in the past.
Yeah, we're always online to chat. You can catch us on our socials or get in touch with us via the website. But we're always happy to talk about any sort of training related questions that you've got.
And that kind of leads you with your cardio into our next little section. And this is what you're gearing up for. He's given himself a 6-month lead in just to get his cardio up. We have now signed up for the 21st of February next year. We will be doing our Tough Guy event down south. We're going to invite people to come along and join us.
Absolutely. Try and get a JTT team going.
Yeah, we want people to sign up, come down, do the event with us, have a good time, but yeah, just get something to focus on as well.
Absolutely.
It's a sort of 8 country miles across various obstacles to get
some brutal hills as well.
Brutal hills, get yourself dirty, and we're going to run a competition alongside that as well, aren't we?
This is it. We've been talking about the competition for the last couple of weeks, and this is the reveal of what the competition is all about. And we are going to put big drum roll, and we are going to put out a competition for one of our Jones the Trainer members to be able to win a place to come and do Tough Guy with us.
Brilliant. So they're going to get free entry to the event. They're going to get their accommodation and their travel as well. So it's all included. So
all included, yeah. All included. We're going to open up registration for the 1st of August, and you'll be able to register your interest using our contact form on the website. And what we will do is we will give you the rules and the guidelines as to what we're looking for to be able to win the competition. And yes, one lucky winner will be joining us, all expenses paid, to come down and take part in Tough Guy.
Brilliant. So yeah, we're going to announce this. People basically get the full of August to register their interest.
That's right. Yep.
They need to be a Jones the Trainer member, so they need to have standard access and above.
Yeah, that's right. Signed up to one of the packages. Yep.
Brilliant. And we're going to put out further details from 1st of August, just in exactly what you need to do to go into the hat, and then we will announce it end of September.
End of September, and on our Facebook group page, we'll be putting up training schedules that helping people to prepare for the actual event. Get some people's experience of their training going forward, because it's not your average event. You're going to need to get used to be able to be in cold and wet. Yep. There's going to be some sort of specific training requirements needed for the Tough Guy event in February.
Big mix of your cardio, your strength training, and just being willing to get dirty and tucked in.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's exciting. So yeah, keep an eye on our socials. We'll be posting further details of that in the coming weeks. And yeah, although we're running a competition, we're inviting people to come along with us for the weekend as well. The more people we can get involved, the better, and the more fun that we'll have as well. And we're going to work hard, and we're going to have a few beers at the same time, I think. So
absolutely, yeah, it's all about the fun.
So going forward, what have we got to look forward to in the podcasts coming up?
Well, I know we've been planning some more episodes, and James has been putting out some feelers for some guests, and we it's looking quite exciting. We've got a good lineup of future guests that have shown interest in appearing on the podcast.
Yeah, so we'll have them to release in the next few weeks. So that'll be really exciting. We've got some big profiles on there as well, which is really exciting, and looking forward to hearing what they've got to say and getting insight into their training and their background in sport as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that. And we're also open to suggestion for any of you guys out there that might want any topics covered in the podcast that we can talk about in future episodes too.
Yeah, so give us a little hashtag Ask Jones the Trainer, and yeah, we'll discuss it on the podcast as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for listening. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Spotify and YouTube.
Please don't forget to leave us a review.
We look forward to bringing you much more of our great content in our next episode.